Hello everyone, it's us, the team at TV Days Drama Digest, back with an in-depth and dramatic recap of today's episode of Days of Our Lives from April 2nd. If you missed today's heart-wrenching and twist-filled installment, sit back and follow along as we break down every explosive moment and secret revelation that rocked Salem. From painful confessions to intense confrontations and emotional fallout, today's episode delivered a roller coaster of drama that left fans reeling. Let's dive into every detail and explore what these events mean for our favorite characters. Jada's confession, a shattering moment. The day's drama kicked off with a stunning revelation. Jada finally confessed to Rafe that she had slept with Sean. This confession, while long anticipated, struck a nerve with everyone involved. For years, rumors had swirled around the secret, but the raw emotion in Jada's confession made it all too real. She admitted that, under intense pressure and after enduring psychological torment at the hands of Feniger, she had given in to temptation. Jada's confession wasn't just about an illicit affair, it was a moment of vulnerability that exposed the deep scars from her past. As she broke down in front of Rafe, she expressed regret, wondering aloud if she should have told him sooner. The guilt and pain in her voice were almost palpable, and it became clear that this secret had been a heavy burden on her heart. Jada pleaded for understanding, asking Rafe if he blamed Sammy for what had happened to her, implying that the consequences of her actions were intertwined with a larger web of betrayal and personal trauma. However, Rafe's reaction to the confession was far from supportive. Unable to comprehend the betrayal, he lashed out with anger. Rafe couldn't believe that Jada didn't understand the implications of her actions. He insisted that she should have known better, that she would never work for EJ, and even went as far as accusing her of being a corrupt cop who might as well have slept with a stripper. His harsh words cut deep, and the intensity of the confrontation left no room for gentle reconciliation. Rafe's response, needing space and the fear of loss following the confession, Rafe's emotions boiled over. Overwhelmed by shock and betrayal, he declared that he needed space to process everything and announced that he was going home alone. This declaration was a devastating blow to Jada, who had hoped that the confession might pave the way for healing and eventual forgiveness. Instead, Rafe's cold resolve to leave left Jada heartbroken and desperate for a solution. In her anguish, Jada expressed her fear that this separation might not be temporary, that perhaps Rafe would never come back. The pain of her own confession, compounded by Rafe's unwillingness to forgive immediately, sent her into a spiral of doubt and despair. Despite the raw hurt, Jada clung to a sliver of hope that things might eventually mend. She sought comfort from none other than Paulina, who has long been a pillar of support in her life. Paulina's presence provided a brief respite from the emotional storm, though Jada's need to numb her pain eventually drove her to seek solace at small bar with a drink in hand. The ripple effects, confiding and confrontations meanwhile, as the personal drama between Jada and Rafe unfolded, the tension in Salem was building on another front. Rafe, grappling with the weight of the betrayal, sought solace by confiding in Gabby about Jada's confession and all the tumultuous emotions swirling around him. In a heart-to-heart conversation, Gabby listened intently, her own suspicions quietly simmering. She couldn't help but think that Rafe's anger was not solely directed at Jada, but also at EJ and the entire web of deceit that surrounded them. Gabby, always the voice of reason, urged Rafe to consider patching things up with his fiancée, reminding him that sometimes the truth, however painful, can pave the way for reconciliation. At the same time, Stephanie also voiced her concerns. She warned Sarah that if Alex were to get wind of the full truth about the forged letter, the very document that allowed Philip to manipulate Titan's power and steal half of its assets, she'd have no choice but to reveal everything. Stephanie's internal conflict was evident. On one hand, she felt the need to protect the secret at all costs. On the other, She understood that withholding the truth might ultimately lead to even greater heartbreak and betrayal. Xander, who had been quietly observing the escalating drama, eventually confronted Alex with the information that Stephanie was involved with Philip. The shock of the revelation only added to the mounting tension, leaving everyone wondering how long the secret could be kept before it inevitably exploded into chaos. The distress that had been brewing for months was now at a fever pitch, and the characters were forced to face the harsh reality that some secrets simply cannot stay buried. A side story of betrayal, Belle's risky mission not far from the central turmoil between Jada, Rafe, and the others, another dramatic subplot was unfolding. Belle Black, ever determined and resourceful, embarked on a risky mission aimed at exposing EJ for his role in the infamous Rafe-Arnold swap. Her plan was ingenious yet fraught with danger. She intended to trick EJ into confessing his misdeeds by secretly wearing a wire during a conversation. However, in classic Salem fashion, nothing goes according to plan. EJ, ever the cunning manipulator, quickly deduced Belle's intentions and refused to be coerced into confessing. Despite her seductive attempts to draw EJ in and her desperate need for answers, Belle's scheme backfired, leaving her with a heavy sense of regret. The failure of her plan further complicates an already tangled web of lies and deceit, and it raises the question of whether EJ's secrets will ever be fully exposed, or if the cycle of betrayal will continue to spiral out of control. Kristen's anger and the threat of revenge amid the personal and professional betrayals, another storm was brewing on the horizon. Kristen, who has long harbored deep resentment toward EJ for his dark secrets, including his role in making Rachel disappear, found herself reaching out to Brady in a bid to smooth things over. However, Brady's disinterest in her attempts at reconciliation only fueled Kristen's fury. Her anger toward EJ remains as intense as ever, and she has vowed that revenge will be hers. Kristen's quest for vengeance is not just about settling old scores. It's about reclaiming her sense of justice and ensuring that the wrongs of the past do not go unpunished. As the tension mounts, Kristen's simmering rage threatens to boil over, and it is only a matter of time before she makes a move that could have dire consequences for EJ and the entire DiMera family. Her fury, coupled with the emerging chaos from all sides, adds an explosive element to the narrative that will undoubtedly shape the future of Salem. The Grand Unraveling, a community on the brink. Today's episode left a lasting impact on the entire town of Salem. Each character, whether caught in the throes of personal betrayal or embroiled in a larger scheme of corporate deception, is now facing a moment of reckoning. The dramatic revelations, the fake letter, the exposed secrets, and the public confessions have sent shockwaves through every corner of Salem. In the midst of this chaos, the consequences extend far beyond individual relationships. Titan's legacy, already tarnished by deceit and manipulation, now hangs in the balance as the truth about Philip's forged document threatens to expose the entire scandal. With Alex's determination to reveal the truth, the very foundations of power in Salem are at risk of being uprooted. The delicate balance between loyalty and betrayal, truth and deception, has never been more precarious. As the episode comes to a close, viewers are left with a cliffhanger that promises even more dramatic twists in the coming days. Will Rafe find a way to forgive Jada, or is their relationship doomed by the cascade of betrayals? Can Stephanie's desperate confession repair the fractured trust between her and Alex? And what will become of the intricate web of secrets that bind these characters together? With every revelation, the stakes continue to rise, and the future of Days of Our Lives remains shrouded in uncertainty. In conclusion, your thoughts on the unfolding drama. Today's episode of Days of Our Lives was a roller coaster of emotions, brimming with explosive confrontations, heartbreaking confessions, and a series of revelations that promise to change the landscape of Salem forever. From Jada's gut-wrenching admission to Rafe, to the bitter fallout between Stephanie, Alex, and Sarah, to the risky schemes of Belle and the seething anger of Kristen, every moment was charged with dramatic intensity. The questions remain. Will the truth about the fake letter tear apart the relationships that have defined these characters for so long? Can Rafe ever find the strength to forgive Jada, or will the weight of betrayal push them further apart? And as the hunt for justice continues, will the secrets of Titan and the impending consequences for the DiMera family ultimately lead to a new beginning or an irreversible end? We invite you, our devoted fans, to share your thoughts, predictions, and emotional reactions in the comments below. How do you think these explosive events will shape the future of Days of Our Lives? Do you believe that the truth will set everyone free, or will it only lead to more pain and betrayal? Your insights and theories are what keep our community vibrant and engaged, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say. Thank you for joining us at TV Days Drama Digest as we continue to follow every twist and turn in the saga of Days of Our Lives. Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Days of Our Lives updates and news, so subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.